My name is Ryan Hamblin, and welcome to Bloom Tech Labs. Today we're going to be covering the concept of pair programming. So, what is pair programming? Pair programming is when two programmers get together and write code on the same machine. Meaning you have one person whose hands are on the keyboard, the other person who is helping the person get to where they need to go, or navigating them in the case of the driver-navigator paradigm. But not only do you write code together, you plan and discuss your work along the way. That's one of the key components about pair programming. It allows you to work out in the open and discuss potential implementation details that you wouldn't normally get to discuss were you not pair programming. And it requires that the pair to practice communication skills at the top, highmost level. Right? We expect you to be tech professionals here, and part of that is learning how to communicate technically your work that you do. One of the important things to note about pair programming is the benefits of it don't necessarily manifest themselves in the short term. This is more of a long-term, medium-term approach, and a lot of companies do adopt the practice company-wide. Some companies highly recommend it. You may just do it every once in a while. Here in Labs, we ask that you do so at least on a pretty regular, semi-regular cadence. So I'm going to introduce you to a variety of different paradigms that you can use to help your pair programming experience along. The first is the driver-navigator paradigm. In the driver-navigator paradigm, one person writes the code. They are the driver. They physically type out the things that they need to get the code delivered, right? The other person tells the driver what to write. That's the navigator. So they type out what the navigator dictates. So this could be something that you do kind of back and forth, and the driver can also navigate a little bit in this paradigm, but primarily the idea here is to put you in the seat of somebody who's thinking through the problem and then somebody who is organizing the problem, kind of stopping along the way and actually implementing the details. And you can take turns here by setting a Pomodoro clock. It's typically good to do this in like a solid cadence. Maybe 45 minutes is a good starting place for one role to be in this driver's seat and one role in the navigator seat. But you can figure out a time that works best for you both. The next style of pair programming is called ping pong. The ping pong approach allows for developer A, for example, to write tests, after which developer B would go and write the code to make those tests pass. This is a test-driven development paradigm. The pair then work to refactor the code together along the way. So you could adopt a different pair programming strategy, or you could go and asynchronously do this back and forth. But the idea here is that you both have your hand in shipping the features, and the features that you ship will be driven and backed by unit tests. Every time you can complete a feature, you can swap roles. You can move away from pair programming or from writing the code, or you can move away from writing a test and into a different factor of the experience. And what that allows you to do is truly see the whole spectrum, the high level overview of what you're delivering, get a broad approach to understanding the entire package that you're working with. The last style that I'll talk about is called strong style pair programming. With strong style pair programming, you have one person who is commonly more senior than the other. And it's basically used for a knowledge transfer. So you can follow the driver navigator paradigm, which is very, very impactful for this type of environment. Now, one of the important things to remember here is because it's used for knowledge transfer, strong style pair programming isn't necessarily something that we recommend you do often, although you will have opportunities to work with your release and engineering managers and your data science managers in labs. It's not going to be the practice that we commonly use here, but it will come up every once in a while, especially if you are in an engineering or pull request critique or some sort of pair programming session with your release manager, and they are driving you to tell you what to do, or giving you transfer of knowledge of the code base to make you a little bit stronger in your capabilities to navigate it. Finally, I want to talk about what we require you to do in labs, what's required versus what's recommended. We require that you pair with somebody at least once every week on a task. that you pair cross-functionally at least one time during your experience in labs, meaning if you're a web student, you would cross-functionally pair with a data science student, etc. And that you document your work and your progress. Talk about the things together. Do a little retrospective after each session. Talk about what you think went well and give each other feedback on what they think they can improve upon, and receive feedback on what you can improve upon and what you do well. It's a really good opportunity for you to bond across cross-functional teams with your teammates and to deliver software with a healthy and fully functioning software development team.